Hey guys, good afternoon. I hope you're all doing well. We're going to go through a lovely spinal flow today. So moving the spine, it's going to be very gentle, it's going to be nice and opening for the chest, for the lower back, and we'll also get a little bit of rotation as well through the middle part of the spine. So we're going to start off in child's pose, so just make sure you're aware of what's going on in your body today. Anyone who's pregnant, just be very, very mindful when we're going into forward folds or back bends or deep twists. Just take it a little bit more gentle, just protect that area of the body. So in your child's pose, I want you to take the knees a little bit wider than usual. So they can be as wide as the mat or just a little bit closer in, big toes touching at the back. I want you to roll the body down onto your mat and then place the forehead onto the floor. If the floor is really, really far away from you, just grab a pillow or a rolled up duvet or a blanket to place underneath the body to give yourself a little bit more support. So we're going to start off by just rippling through the spine. So firstly, you're going to arch the upper part of your spine as though you're coming into a cat pose. And then you're going to slide your fingertips slightly further forwards and feel the chest melt back down. And we're going to do that 3 more times. So scooping the shoulder blades up, just lifting yourself a little bit further away from the floor, then sliding the fingertips a little bit further forwards, and then melting back down. Twice more like that, scooping shoulder blades up, sliding a little bit further forwards, keeping the tailbone and pelvis really heavy. You should feel this now lengthening through your spine, scooping shoulder blades up, and exhaling to slide them a little bit further forwards. Now really rest. Breathe into the space that you've just created. Breathe into the space in between each vertebra, the vertebrae making up your spine. Feel your fingertips slide a little bit further forwards and your pelvis draw a little bit further back. From here, keeping that length through the spine, start to walk your hands over towards the left side. So your chest can rest slightly on the left knee if that feels comfortable. Right hand is going to go on top of left hand to use that as an anchor to let your chin, or your forehead, not your chin probably, let your forehead fall down towards the floor. So you start to get this lateral flexion and extension of the spine, also a stretch out through the side body. Breathe deeper into the right side of your body, filling up space in the right lung. Last breath. And then with the exhale, walking the hands back through center. Just bring the body up, round through the spine, bring the hips above the knees, then lift the chest forwards into a sort of wide-legged cow pose, and then let the pelvis draw back down to the ground. Find length again through the spine, keeping that length, walking the hands over towards the right side. Placing the left hand on the right, and then placing the forehead towards the ground. Feeling the whole of your spine melt down and feeling this left side of the body grow longer. Then breathe into the space in between your ribs. Feel your intercostal muscles stretch. One more breath. And then bring the body back through center. Scooping belly in, shoulder blades lift up. Come into your wide-legged cat. Then wide-legged cow, lifting chest forwards, lift tailbone up. And exhale, send the pelvis back down to the heels. Twice more like that, scooping shoulder blades up. Coming up into your rounded cat pose. Lifting the chest forwards, almost like your heart is pulling through your arms. Exhale to release the pelvis back down to the floor. Inhale, really flow with the breath now. Simple movement. If you're new to this, really enjoy the movement through the spine, finding fluidity and length. And releasing down. Bringing the body back up to tabletop. This time just walk the hands underneath your shoulders. Then walk your knees so they're underneath your hips. I'm going to go for some regular cat-cows now, but first I want you to get a good base and a good grounding. So look down towards your hands, spread your fingers wide and press down through the first finger and thumb. Feel your navel draw back towards your spine, so there's a slight engagement through the core. We're not rounding just yet, just feeling the navel draw in. Then feel the tailbone, which is right at the end of your spine, draw all the way back. And then feel the top of your neck, the top of your cervical spine, draw forwards. So you almost want to imagine the base of your skull drawing towards the front of your mat. So now you should feel really strong here. I want you to think now about the ribs and feel your ribs gently draw slightly together. So they're not splaying out, you're not letting this happen, starting to draw them in so that you start slightly shorten through the front body, and that should feel now nice and strong. Keeping that connection, let your chest with the inhale draw forwards and feel your tailbone lift up. So as your chest draws forwards, your shoulder blades glide down the back. As you exhale, press down through the hands, round through the shoulder blades, feel your navel lift up, 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 and let your chin tuck towards your chest. 3 more times like that, moving really slowly so you can really feel everything that's happening here. Shoulder blades sliding down, really arching through the upper back as well as the lower back. Then exhale, round, do the exact opposite, scooping belly in, trying to press shoulder blades as far away from each other as possible. Inhale to lift the chest. Let the belly drop, but keep that slight engagement through the core so the lower back is protected and strong. Exhale, round the spine. Good, I've lost count, so let's just do that one more time. And then come back to a neutral spine. Walk the hands just a little bit further forwards to the edges of your mat. Then start to melt your heart down towards the ground. Feel the curve come through the thoracic spine. And you want to imagine this sliding sensation, like your vertebrae are drawing away from each other. Let gravity take hold of your body. Let yourself sink. Really embracing and enjoying this movement to release you from whatever you've been doing for the day. Maybe it's sitting at a desk, or sitting on the sofa, trying to work from your bed. I found that very tricky. Elbows draw up to the side now. Try to keep your chest as low to the ground as possible as you snake your way forwards onto your front. Take your hands just beside your rib cage, then start to lift your chest forwards. Little back bend here, we're not going full throttle just yet. Elbows draw towards each other so you feel your shoulder blades again gliding together. Take another breath in. Then as you exhale, press your hands down, bring your toes back together, then send your pelvis back to the heels. Come to rest in child's pose, and then take your arms beside the body now so the spine can really round. Feel your spine and your back melt around your thighs. Breathe deeply into the lower back. Feel the breath spread through the mid-back, and then all the way up to the upper back. And then into your neck. As you inhale, scoop your belly in, roll your body all the way up to sit back onto your heels. Take the hands onto your thighs, take a moment just to be here. Listen to your breath, relax your jaw. find some moments of calm, a moment for you. Whatever's going on in the room that you're in at the moment, wherever you are in Deptford or in the world, let go. And let your gaze shift internally. Perhaps you have silence, perhaps there is some noise around you. Just observe. There's no need to get involved in any of the sounds or thoughts. We can just be here with our body and breath. Let the eyes flicker open, bring your hands together and interlace the fingers, then press the palms forwards and start to lift your arms up. Take it like you're taking a yawn stretch. So shoulder blades gliding together again, chest lifting up, keep a slight length through the lower back so you're still supported. And then just wiggle the body from side to side. So you can sort of push the rib cage out to the side one way and then the other way. You might even roll on the feet. You might even roll it forwards to really experience the full effects of how the spine can move and how the spine can make you feel as well. Our nervous system is attached to the spine, so when we stimulate the spine, we're stimulating the nervous system. And we're going to all land with the chest pulling up. Then release the arms, take the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, take the hands down towards the floor. Inhale to lift the chest forwards into your cow pose. And as you exhale, tuck your toes, lift your knees just a couple of inches away from the floor. Keep the spine nice and long, feel your core engage. And then start to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And come into your first downward facing dog. Have your feet hip width apart and have your knees quite generously bent. Let your head dangle heavy, drawing towards the earth. Notice what's happening now to your core. Can you draw your navel back and in slightly and reach your rib cage together? So almost like you want to feel it knit. As you inhale, scoop your belly in, roll the shoulders over the wrists and come into your plank pose. As you exhale, lower your knees to the ground, bend the elbows back, lower the chest, nice and strong through the core and through the arms. Inhale to lift the chest forwards into baby cobra, and exhale to take it back into your child's pose. So we're going to go through this little floor flow. So as you inhale, you're going to roll the body up. Let the hands just slide against the mat and then the thighs. Bring the hands together, keep the arms long, come into that gentle back bend as the heart lifts up. As you exhale, take the hands to the ground. As you inhale, lift the chest forwards, lift the tailbone up to find cow. And as you exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. As you inhale, roll your shoulders over the wrists to find plank. Really round and dome through the upper back. Then exhale, lower your knees, lower your chest, modified chaturanga. Inhale to lift the chest forwards into baby cobra. And exhale to take it back into your child's pose. Inhale, roll the body up to sit back onto the heels, hands slide against the thighs, palms come together, arms reach up, chest lifts. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor. Inhale to lift chest forwards, lift the tailbone for cow. Exhale to tuck toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Keep length through the spine and now round through the upper back as you roll the shoulders over the wrist to find plank. Then exhale, lower the knees, bend the elbows, lower the chest. Inhale to find your baby cobra and then maybe push up into a full cobra. Enjoy the extension through the spine. Exhale to release it first, then belly to floor, belly back to heels. Belly back to thighs, hips back to heels, child's pose. Adding a few little bits on now, so rolling up through the spine, stacking vertebra by vertebra, Hands come together, arms stay long, fingertips lift up, mini back bend. Let the exhale take you forwards. Flow with your breath. Inhale, chest lifts into cow pose. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll your shoulders over the wrists, dome through the upper back. This time we're bending the knees, but hovering them away from the ground, arching through the spine and then lifting back up into your down dog. So rolling and scooping as you come forwards and arching and releasing as you go back. And starting to connect breath with this. So inhale as you roll forwards and exhale as you take it back. Take one more like this. Inhale, roll forwards. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, roll forwards. And then lower just your right knee to the ground. Turn your right toes out to the side. Take your right hand to the middle of the mat. And then extend your left arm up towards the ceiling for a supported side plank. From here, reach your left fingertips towards the front of the room, or the front of your mat. And then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. So you get this length through the left side of the neck as well. Keep reaching left fingertips forwards and then press the blade of your left foot towards the ground. Keep a slight engagement through the core. From here, I want you to think about the left hip and your left rib cage drawing together. So you're going to lift your left arm up, lift your left leg up, scooping this together and then letting it release. Stretching as far as you can, then inhale, lift it up, scoop it together, exhale to release. Once more like that, inhale, lift up, hold it here this time for 3, 2, and 1. Taking the left foot to the ground, left hand to the floor, turn your right toes in. Then you're going to step your left foot in between your hands. Come to a lunge here, lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. From here, take your left hand onto your lower back. Use that as a little guide to help keep the lower back nice and long. Then reach your right fingertips high and start to take a mini back bend, stretching towards the back left corner of your room. Breathing into the belly and keeping the navel drawing back. Right glutes are switched on. Take one more breath in, feel the body lengthen. Exhale, take the right hand to the ground. Inhale, the left arm lifts up, continuing on that twist. Imagine your belly is trying to draw away from the left thigh and your left knee is right on top of your left ankle and you're pressing down through the ball of the left foot. You're finding rotation as the left arm lifts up. Can you keep the back of your neck long with the top of the head drawing forwards? Another breath in. And an exhale to take the left hand to the floor. Step your right foot up to the top of the mat. Release your torso over the thighs, dangle heavy, take hands onto elbows. Then let your body sway from side to side. What feels good here? Can you make it a little bit more fluid? Perhaps a few little bounces. And if it feels okay, take the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, draw the arms beyond the head, and feel the spine get heavier. Perhaps this helps to bring your belly a little bit closer towards your thighs. One more breath in. Exhale, release it out. Feel all that tension from the morning drain from your spine. Then use the core. Feel the belly lift away from the thighs. Keep your hands and your head heavy as you press down through the feet. Bend the knees and gently roll yourself all the way up to standing. Then when you get to the neck, feel the head just float on top, easy. And then just turn the head from side to side. way I like to feel of my head is, imagine that your neck is like a fountain that's pushing up and out, and your head is like a balloon or a ball that's just bobbing on top. There's no effort to keep your head there. Take the inhale with the arms reaching up, palms meet, and then as you exhale, let your body fold forwards. As you inhale, let the chest reach forwards into a halfway lift, hands come onto shins, flat back. As you exhale, take the hands down, step your right foot to the back of the mat, and take your left foot to join. Holding in plank, scooping belly in, and see if you can lengthen through the spine, but slightly dome through the upper back. Draw your glutes together, help stabilize the lower part of your spine, which is very flexy. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, let your knees double down. If you want a full chaturanga, take full chaturanga, lower chest. Inhale to lift your chest forwards into baby cobra. And exhale to take it back into your child's pose. Take a breath here. Inhale, roll the body up to seated. Hands slide against the mat and then against your thighs. Hands come together, then lift the fingertips up. Mini back bend with the core still active. Exhale, take your hands to the ground. Inhale, lift chest forwards, tailbone lifts up, cow pose. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll the shoulders over the wrists, finding plank. Just one little wave this time, bend the knees, arch the spine, lift the hips. Roll shoulders over the wrists to find plank. And then lower your left knee to the ground. Turn your left toes out to the side. Come onto the inside of the right foot, right arm lifts up to find your supported side plank. Keep that length and then start to reach your right fingertips towards the front of your mat. Option to drop the left ear to the left shoulder to feel the length through the right side of the neck, just an added bonus stretch. Keep reaching right fingertips forwards and really press through the blade of the right foot to get more length through the side body. Now I want you to think about drawing the rib cage and the right hip together, lifting the right arm up and the right leg, scoop it in, and then exhale to release. Inhale to draw them together, use the obliques and the glutes on your right side, and release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. This time we're going to hold, bring the both back up. Hold for 3 and 2. Lengthen spine 1. And take both hand and foot back down to the floor. Turn your left toes back in. Step your right foot in between your hands. Coming into a lunge, the arms lift up. Then you're going to take your right hand onto your lower back as support. So it's almost like your fingers are just above your bum cheeks. Then you're going to lift your left arm up and take a stretch towards the back corner of your room. Keeping the navel drawing in and keeping the breath smooth and steady. Use the pressure of the right hand to keep the spine long, supported. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, left hand to the ground. Right arm reaches up, find the rotation through the mid part of your back, the thoracic spine. Keep reaching up, lengthening, drawing away. Belly draws away from right thigh, and right knee is right above right ankle, and you're pressing down through the ball of the right foot. Even though this is strong, can you find space and softness around the edges of your body and through your breath? One more breath in. Exhale, take your hands to the ground. Step your left foot up to the top of the mat. Feet hip width apart again, dangle your spine over the legs. Perhaps a little sway again from side to side. Good. From here, bend your knees. Take your hands onto the tops of your knees or just below at the bottom of your thighs. Take a little deeper bend, then start to lift your chest forwards. Lift your belly away from the thighs. Come into a gentle Utkatasana. Lift the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands together. And inhale to drive through the heels to lift up into your standing. Take your arms down beside the body again. Just roll the head 3 times one way. Exploring the corners of your neck. And 3 times round the other way. Good. I'm going to face you now so you can sort of see what I'm doing. So we're going to keep the circling going. Let's reverse it again. So we're going to do once round with the head. And then you're going to start to get your body involved. So first the shoulders go all the way around. And you can stay with this variation, just rolling around with the shoulders and the head. Or you can start to go a little bit deeper and you can start to take the arms with you, round and down. So you don't need to go too far, I just want you to start to feel fluid in the top body. Getting out any cracks, I can feel a few cracks in my spine. And then bringing it back up through center. Taking that the opposite way that you just did, it doesn't matter if it's not the same way. So one, head roll. Then starting to get your shoulders involved with the same movement. Don't worry if you're not doing exactly the same. Just want you to find fluidity, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't look exactly the same as what I'm doing. Just let the body move freely on top of the hips. And then maybe starting to take those circles a little bit further, maybe taking the arms around in circles. Bending the knees as you come down. I sort of feel like one of those blow up things that sort of flail around when I do this. Lovely. Doing that once more. And then bring yourself back through center. So stepping again to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Lift the arms up. Bring the palms together. Reach the fingertips a little higher. Take a gentle back bend. As you exhale, fold your body forwards. Take the hands towards the ground. Inhale as you lengthen. Lift the chest forwards. Find that flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands down. Step your left foot to the back of the mat, right foot joins. Find your plank pose with a deep breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knees and lower your chest, and this time we're going to hold it there. So you're going to extend the right arm towards the right side of your mat. If you don't have the space, just wiggle yourself onto the left side of your mat so you've got more space for your arm. Then you're going to bend up your left knee and use your left hand to help guide that left foot over towards the right side of your mat. So this is a gentle twist for your spine. It's also a bonus extra stretch for your shoulder. You can take your right ear to the mat, and then you can start to extend your left fingertips, if you've got space, towards the left side. So you really start to feel that rotation. And then you can start to draw your left toes towards your right hand. If you start to feel any pinching or it doesn't feel right, just stop. And then once you've found a place that feels comfortable, relax. And we'll hold here for 3 breaths. A little bit more length as well through the front of your left hip. Last breath. And And then bring the left leg back to join the right. Bring the left hand back onto the floor and then roll yourself back onto your front. Just take your hands underneath your forehead to take a moment just to rest and release from that twist. So sometimes these parts of the practice where we release out from a pose can be the most beneficial. Where we can feel and we can be still in both body and mind. You can really get a sense of being with your body now. Good. Now if you need to, just shuffle yourself over onto the right side of your mat so you've got some space. Then extend the left arm out to the side so it's in line with your left shoulder. Right hand's on the floor beside your right shoulder. Right knee bends. Then you come over to lie on the left side of your body. Then rest the left side of the head to the ground. Then maybe starting to reach the right fingertips towards the right side of the room if you've got space. And maybe starting to slide the right toes towards the left hand. And once you're there, relax for 3 breaths. There's effort here, but releasing the muscles around your spine. Let this feel good. If anything feels pinchy, bring it back. Relax your jaw. And slowly bringing the right hand back in, right leg back on top of left. Then roll yourself back onto your front. Take your forehead onto your hands. Rebound from the twist. Let all of the goodness from the twist breathe into your body. So when we rotate or we forward fold or back bend, we're slightly compressing the discs in between the vertebra. But when we release, the discs start to fatten up and all of the nourishment and the blood and oxygen start to rush back in. So it's this release that gives us the most benefit. Wiggle yourself now back into the middle of the mat if you were wiggled out to the side. Press down through the hands. Start to come into your baby cobra again first. And then press down a little more and come into a further cobra. So you might want to stay here. You might want to lengthen the arms all the way. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. But if it doesn't feel good to lengthen the arms, just keep the elbows slightly bent, or you can walk the hands a little bit further forwards. And maybe you want to shine your face up towards the ceiling. Feel like your chest is drawing forwards and up. Your tailbone is drawing towards your heels. The still activation through the body. Lengthening through the front body and finding space across the chest. Another breath in. And another release out. Taking the hands back underneath the forehead. Resting here. If it feels good for you, bend up your knees and just sway your feet from side to side. I really like this after a back bend. Really let them drop as far as feels comfortable and then back. Extending out the legs again, taking your hands underneath the shoulders or just beside the rib cage. Press the pelvis back to the heels and come to rest in your child's pose. From here, bring the body up, tuck the toes, and then lift the knees away from the floor so you come into this little Scoopy squat pose. So you're gonna, that is the official name, so you're gonna let your pelvis fall down towards your heels, and then you're gonna let your head drop towards the floor. So It's the same thing as in child's pose. You want to feel like your spine is releasing around your thighs, but just a little bit more controlled. So from here, you might want to take your right hand onto your left calf, maybe your left hand onto your right calf. So you're having a bit of a hover here. So you get more of a sense of draining down, this sense of gravity drawing you down and around your thighs. So you can really feel the tension drain from the back. Let it all release out. If you're holding on to any more tension in the neck, release it. Let the base of your skull be heavy. You might even want to take your hands onto the base of your skull and give yourself a little bit of a gentle draw down. Taking the hands back down to the floor. Lengthen your legs enough so that the heels can come to the ground. As you inhale, lift the chest forwards, coming into your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale to bring the arms all the way up to standing. You can roll up if that feels better for you. And exhale, bring the hands to your heart center. Just make sure you've got some space behind you. So if you don't, just step the feet a little bit further forwards. We're going to come into dancer's pose, but we're not going to go into the full variation just yet. We're going to bring the weight onto the left foot, hands stay on the hips. Then you're going to bring your right heel in towards your right bum cheek. So you're firstly activating the backs of the legs and the glutes to make sure the heel can come in. Then you can maybe start to take hold of the right foot with your right hand. If it doesn't reach, don't worry, just keep the hand on the hip. You might be able to reach for the toes instead. So from there, you're going to start to press your foot against the hand and the hand into the foot. So you start to come into a little back bend and you can feel the activation through the back body. From there, left arm reaches forwards. You can either stay here enjoying the balance, or you can start to press the foot a little harder into the hand and come into your full dancer's pose. Feel the right shoulder draw forwards and the right hip draw forwards. Keep the navel drawing in. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, see if you can with control. Whoops. Bring your right knee back in towards your chest. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, let your right foot lower to the ground. Just shift your weight from side to side. Release the tension from the left leg. Take the hands back onto the hips. Bring the weight onto your right foot. Draw left heel in towards the left bum cheek. So really activating the hamstrings and the glutes to start off with. Then maybe reaching back to take hold of the left foot. If it doesn't reach, don't worry, you can keep the hand on the hip, or you can start to take hold of the toes instead. From here, pressing the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot. Reaching the right arm forwards. Option to stay here, option to start to press a little harder. So the back body is still active as you come into your dancer's pose. Strong through the standing leg. Left shoulder drawing forwards, left hip drawing forwards. Take another breath in. Exhale, bring the left knee back into the chest with control. Holding here for another inhale. And exhale to let the left foot go down to the floor with control. Then just sway your weight from side to side. Let the arms come down beside the body, then fill up space if you've got it. If not, take the arms forwards. Then let the palms reach up right at the edge of the breath. Feel your spine lengthen. And as you exhale, let your body drape forwards. Finding that fluidity again through the spine. Start to walk your hands forward. You can really slowly sway the spine from side to side. And coming into any sort of movement now that feels good for you. Doesn't have to be the same thing as what I'm doing. Maybe it's a down dog, maybe it's an up dog. Maybe you're swaying the hips from side to side. Maybe you're twizzling on the feet. And then slowly making it through your final vinyasa flow. Knees, chest or chaturanga. Inhale to find a strong back bend, either baby cobra or full cobra, or pushing up into your up dog. And exhale to lift back up into your downward facing dog. Look forward towards your fingertips, bend your knees and walk your feet in towards your hands, cross your legs over and lower yourself down to the floor if you can with control, maybe taking the hands forwards and lowering the bum down. Good, so we're going to have the right leg in front, so I'm going to mirror you now. You can stay facing whichever way on your mat is more comfortable, wherever you've got your phone or laptop in front of you. Just find a comfortable position with the right leg in front. Take the hands onto the knees. Inhale to lift the heart and chest, drawing shoulder blades together, finding that little back bend again. And as you exhale, I want you to walk your hands forwards, but I want you to slowly sway from side to side, like you're easing your way in. Gently, gently, finding that fluidity and movement. Perhaps the head starts to go from side to side as well. And then when you've gone as far as feels comfortable for you, just relax and release the head down. And we're going to stay here in this forward fold for 5 breaths. Don't worry too much about holding on to anything here. You don't need much activation for this one. Just let it all hang. And when you've done your 5 breaths, you can come back the same way you came in, wiggling from side to side, bringing yourself all the way back up. Just give the neck a little roll, shoulders a little roll, get out any clicks. And then switch legs, left leg goes in front, hands to the front of the knees. Inhale to lift the heart and chest, draw shoulder blades together, and exhale to start to wave your spine down. Easy, easy. Fluidly down into your forward fold, and let your chin drop, and we'll hold here for another 5 breaths. And slowly wiggle yourself from side to side. Lovely, then just make any more movement that feels good for you. Dropping the head from side to side, rolling chin to chest. Perhaps in a little stretch like we did before, reaching the palms forwards, drawing your shoulder blades back, and then lifting up to take a stretch. Maybe taking it from side to side. And then we'll come down into Shavasana. And have a little play around with what feels most comfortable for the positioning of your shoulder blades and your spine and your hips and your legs. Then once you're there, take a lovely deep breath into the belly. And let a sigh escape the mouth. Inhale deep into the belly, and let a sigh escape the mouth. Staying where you are, I'm just going to come back up to seated. Give you a few moments here just to be with the sensations that are now fizzing around your body, around your spine. let a breath in and feel the sense of the breath traveling up through the spine, touching the base of your skull. And then feel the breath travel down the spine, releasing any lasting ounces of tension. And do that a few times, feeling the breath travel up, spreading the oxygen through the torso, through the legs and through the arms. And let the exhale drain tension from your body. Shoulders heavy, pelvis heavy. Take that 2 more times. Fill the body up with your breath and release with your exhale. Last time. Feel the breath reach the ends of your skin and feel the breath release your muscle tension. Start to wiggle through fingers and then through toes. And roll the head from side to side. And then slowly bring yourself into a long stretch, still on your mat. And then roll yourself over to one side, curl yourself up into a tiny little ball like a fetus shape. And then bring yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes closed. And let your hands float to your heart center. And just sit for another moment with the sensations along your body. Feel this cloud of sensation that make up you. Sit with it. Embrace it. And be grateful for it. Be grateful for the movement your body can offer you. Take the thumbs to the third eye, the space in between the eyebrows. Let the chin bow down to the chest. Thank you, everyone.